Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this webinar on behalf of VLA Virtual Legal Advisory and Sana Pirzada Legal Solutions. Adam, it's so good to have you once again on this platform. We've done several sessions on cyber crimes over the years, and of course, today we're going to be talking about something different. So, a warm welcome to Adam Jabbar, who is
Thank you
an
so much for having
esteemed
us.
You're welcome, who is an esteemed tech lawyer. And we are equally delighted to have another esteemed personality with us today. We've got Waqas Ahmed, who also happens to be a tech expert. And both of you have, in fact, launched a new app called YourMunshi.net, which is what we are going to be talking about today. So, Adam and Waqas, a warm welcome to you both.
Thank you very much. We are delighted to be here.
Likewise, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Okay, so basically, everybody knows the significance of AI in this day and age. And in many different fields, AI, of course, is taking a lead role. I'm a writer, I'm an author, amongst other things, apart from being a barrister. So I know how useful ChatGPT and other platforms are when it comes to, utilizing them for our own work. But when we focus on law, I mean, there are just so many different angles, so many different questions. And Adam, I'd actually like to understand from your perspective, what actually led you to create this app. Can you just talk a little bit about the background of YourMunshi?
Nikki, the brief, or you could say the primary inspiration behind YourMunshi was the urgent need to modernize the Pakistani legal system. As you all know, the Pakistani justice system is ranking at the lowest, unfortunately, and we are still using the old conventional systems. Our laws are very outdated, to be very blunt and honest. You know, our civil procedure code, criminal procedure code, the stages of the trial, the the court process and everything is very outdated, to be very honest, if you compare it with the rest of the world. So the primary inspiration behind Your Munshi came from that, and it's just not my work, it's a team work, and we are four founding members and other team members as well of Your Munshi. um, how I came towards AI is that last year I wrote a book on ChatGPT. That was ChatGPT for lawyers. That was basically an educational guide to give awareness to the lawyers, law students, and judges in the world to use AI in the daily practice in order to automate the justice system, their legal practice. So basically, this was the primary inspiration, you could say. We just want to make things easier and simpler for the legal profession in Pakistan.
Thank you, Adam. That is most definitely much needed. We do need so many different reforms in Pakistan, and obviously AI is going to play such an important role. It already is. I mean, even in terms of things like
Indeed.
ADR and in terms of worldwide usage as well. Pakistan is
Indeed.
obviously still behind in many
Yeah.
things. But again, we have people like you and Waqas, inspirational trailblazers who are doing something so different. So Waqas, this brings me to you, and with everything, obviously, and especially with this app, I'm sure that you must have encountered some challenges. And would you like to discuss those as well?
Yeah, so coming to the challenges, so there were definitely there were a lot of challenges, but I would like to highlight maybe a couple of those which were very prominent. First and most important challenge was the quality of data availability. So there was no one single source where we would be able to find all the data and everything. So हमें बहुत सारी जगहों के ऊपर हमें बहुत सारी एफर्ट करनी पड़ी और डेटा कलेक्शन में और उसमें it took us a good long time, and then whatever data we got, we had to convert that data into a usable form जो AI के लिए काबिल इस्तेमाल बने. So एक तो ये चैलेंज था. सेकंड चैलेंज वाज द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चैलेंज कि हमें पाकिस्तान में एआई के लिए जो रिक्वायर्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है वो नहीं मिला. सो अल्टीमेटली फिर हमें फॉरेन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर रिलाई करना पड़ा और हमें फिर जीपीयूज एंड ऑल दैट जो जो भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रिक्वायर्ड है वो हमें अकॉर्डिंगली लेना पड़ा. we still are working with, couple of organizations, couple of infrastructure companies here in Pakistan to somehow make address this challenge, ताकि पाकिस्तान के अंदर AI इंडस्ट्री का रास्ता खुले. अभी तक Pakistan has been the user of AI. We have not been the creator of AI so far. So we are just putting in our one chip. Maybe our small effort can open the way for a lot many innovative minds. So these were two core challenges that we faced.
Now, I can clearly see that you people have put in a lot of hard work, in creating this. And so thank you so much for sharing all of these challenges, Waqas. And I completely agree with you that Pakistan has been a user, but when it comes to creating such things, again, we do lag behind. And Adam, this brings me to the question that abhi jo aapne ye banaya hai, I appreciate the fact that launch abhi aap logon ki hone wali hai. So could you
जी
tell the audience a little bit about the features of this app? What exactly would they gain from using this app?
देखिए, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जैसे आपने लॉन्च का जिक्र किया, सो इंशाल्लाह वी आर प्लानिंग टू ऑफिशियली लॉन्च योर मुंशी अक्रॉस पाकिस्तान. दैट वुड बी 17 सितंबर इस्लामाबाद, 19th in Lahore and 21st in Karachi इंशाल्लाह. तो ये हमारा एक ऑफिशियल कंट्री वाइड लॉन्च होगा फॉर ऑल द लिसनर्स हु आर लिसनिंग टू दिस वेबिनार. अच्छा, कमिंग टू द की फीचर्स ऑफ दिस ऐप, हमारी जो ये ऐप हमने डेवलप की है योर मुंशी, दिस डिफर्स फ्रॉम चैट जीपीटी. थोड़ा सा मैं पीछे से आऊंगा बैकग्राउंड सो दैट अ लेमैन कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि लोगों की एक मिसकंसेप्शन है कि योर मुंशी एक वही चीज है जो चैट जीपीटी है, बट इट इज नॉट. आई विल एक्सप्लेन कि चैट जीपीटी बेसिकली इज वर्क्स ऑन उसके ऊपर जो मॉडल्स चलते हैं वर्क्स ऑन एपीआई. वो यूजुअली आपको गूगल से कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन उठा के दे देगा, या व्हाट इट इज ट्रेंड, जैसे वो पहले 2021 तक ट्रेंड था तो वहीं से दे देता है. What is the USP of YourMunshi? The unique selling proposition of this product is that it is the only AI platform in Pakistan that is specifically trained on Pakistani laws and judgments. हमने कोई पिछले एक साल में 50,000 प्लस जजमेंट सेलेक्ट की, जिसमें कुछ हमारे पास इमेज फॉर्मेट में थी, कुछ हार्ड कॉपीज थी, कुछ किसी और फॉर्मेट में थी, जो हमने बड़ी मुश्किल उसको स्कैन की, उसका टेक्स्ट एक्सट्रैक्ट किया और एक एक जजमेंट को करके हमने YourMunshi में ट्रेन किया. सेकंड, हमारे पास जितने पाकिस्तान के एक्ट्स, ऑर्डिनेंसेस, जितने भी स्टैट्यूट्स वगैरह हैं, वो हमने पाकिस्तान कोड और जहां जहां से मिले हमने उसके ऊपर ट्रेन किया. क्योंकि द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इन एआई फॉर लॉ इज द हेलुसिनेशन एंड फिक्शियस केस. जैसे मैंने एक दफा पहले भी आपके वेबिनार में डिस्कस किया था कि चैट जीपीटी जो है वो गलत इंफॉर्मेशन देता है एज फार एज लीगल रिसर्च इज कंसर्न्ड. तो वो अगर आप उससे कोई केस लॉ पूछेगी पाकिस्तान के बारे में, सो वो एक आपको फिक्शियस केस दे देगा या आपको गलत रिसर्च करेगा. सो YourMunshi का जो बिगेस्ट की फीचर है, इट हेल्प्स यू विद केस लॉ रिसर्च, लीगल रिसर्च, ड्राफ्टिंग में ऑफ कोर्स वो भी हेल्प करता है. और जो ड्राफ्टिंग में यू कुड मतलब आइदर गिव इट द प्रॉम्प्ट टू ड्राफ्ट रिट पिटिशन फॉर यू, यू कुड गिव इट अ प्रॉम्प्ट कि आपको जी टेम्पररी इंजंक्शन की बना दे. आपने अपने क्लाइंट के लिए लीगल नोटिस तैयार कराना है, तो अगर कंज्यूमर एक्ट का है तो वो कंज्यूमर एक्ट के तहत लीगल नोटिस बना देगा. प्लस ये आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रिव्यू, ईच क्लॉज आपको उसकी इन्फोर्सेबिलिटी चेक करके बताएगा. So basically, to sum it up, the key features: number one is research, number two is drafting, and number three is predictive analysis, which is a feature to be used by judges. कि आप इसको दोनों पार्टीज का आप इसको डिस्क्रिप्शन दें, फैक्ट्स बताएं, आप प्लेंटिफ्स का भी बताएं, डिफेंडेंट का भी बताएं, तो ये आपको भी प्रिडिक्टिव जजमेंट दे देगा. और उसके साथ साथ जो हमारे अपकमिंग फीचर्स हैं, उसमें वी गोना गिव यू द फीचर्स ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड. आप अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपलोड करें और उसके साथ एआई से इंटरैक्ट करें. एंड वी विल हैव मल्टीलिंगुअल सपोर्ट, जिसमें उर्दू लैंग्वेज और पंजाबी, पश्तो सारी लैंग्वेजेस ऐड ऑन हो जाएंगी, ताकि पाकिस्तान में जो हमारी आवाम है वो अपने लीगल राइट लिख सके, लॉयर्स अपनी रिसर्च के लिए कर सकें, स्टूडेंट्स भी कर सकें और जजेस भी यूज कर सकें इसको.
Adam, this sounds absolutely fascinating. And you did mention that, how this app is different from Chat GPT. And just along those lines, I wanted to ask you, you said that if you upload your document, so basically, am I right in saying that if you do upload something that you've drafted already, this particular app will make the relevant changes to that document, and it can also draft something from scratch on the basis of the information
Yeah,
you've entered? Yes?
absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. And in terms of case, when we talk about the cases that are present on the app, how far back does the app go in terms of
Okay,
the cases.
we have cases from you could say from 1997 to 2024, and mo sorry,
So just adding to it,
yeah,
Adam's point, we have just updated it till 1970.
Okay. So it
yeah,
begins
that's
from
right.
1970 to date.
Yes,
Correct.
to date,
All right,
and it's
brilliant.
still being updated by the latest judgments being uploaded on the Supreme Court, High Court, and the District Court websites. So it keeps
New
on updating
judgments,
itself from the latest judgments.
we have actually developed an automated process जिसके जरिए से whatever new judgments are there, our AI automatically fetches it, it reads it, it learns itself. So we don't have to put in so much of human labor into it. So it learns itself and it starts, giving out the outputs based on that.
That's right,
Superb.
Bilkul.
And am I also correct in assuming that if we want to do research in a particular area, say domestic violence, and there's a particular time frame, if I just want to search case law in the last 4 years or something, and if I just type these keywords, तो वही judgments आ जाएंगे pertaining to domestic violence?
So इसके अंदर just adding to Adam's point के there are three key core areas of any legal matter when it comes to resolution and all that. Number one is कि आपने अपनी relevant law code research करनी है कि which law codes are relevant to your particular matter. Number one. So our AI solution actually brings you down to the exact law code definition and numbers and articles that this is what is applicable to. Second thing which comes into play are the citations based on that law code. That what previous and past cases has been done in Supreme Court, in high courts, and all high courts of Pakistan. So RAI will give you a complete list of case titles by the naming, by the nomenclature of the courts, not by any third-party application. So along with the party details, along with the dates and exact, all the relevant required information. And then third thing which comes into play is the drafting based on that law code and citations that what you have to draft and put up before the court. So RAI can actually get all the petitions or notices or whatever documents you need to draft. It will draft it in the formal legal language and legal templates. Right? So हमारे यहाँ ये भी challenge होता है कि बहुत सारे AI platforms हैं वो आपको ड्राफ्टिंग कर देते हैं but none of them is trained on Pakistan's legal framework so that they write and draft as per Pakistani law requirement. So our AI is the first one in Pakistan and in fact I guess the only one in Pakistan कि जो पाकिस्तान के लॉ फ्रेमवर्क के मुताबिक आपको फॉर्मल ड्राफ्टिंग करके देता है पूरी. And then we are actually going one step beyond that as well. Drafting is the last part of your table research, right? Now the actual gameplay comes into when you go towards the execution. So there we are actually working towards building a complete ecosystem where we are connecting various law firms and attorneys and lawyers with us within Pakistan and outside of Pakistan as well for overseas Pakistanis especially, so that their matters can be executed through our platform as well. So we become a one-stop solution for all sorts of legal matters. Definitely there are some caveats attached to it, there are some limitations, there are certain conditions to it. So but we are going towards that particular thing.
That's brilliant, Vikas. Thank you for explaining this so excellently. Just two questions that emerged from what you said. Firstly, do you intend to charge people for using this app?
Yes, there will be a financial model attached to it. There are multiple packages which will be curtain raising at our commercial launch events. So there will be a free package which will be usable for all. Obviously it will be with some limited access, and then there will be a mid-tier package for maybe entry-level lawyers and attorneys. Then there will be an upper-tier package with lots of features and lots of capacity. And then there will be corporate packages. For example, if there is a big law firm and they want a package for their organization so that their entire staff can use it and all that. So we are working on that as well. Then we are also working out packages for the students, for law students as well. Because and we are actually working out with universities and law colleges these days, where we are actually getting their consent to launch a package for particularly for that unit for that institution students, so that they can actually use and they can develop their knowledge base and actually, start getting the exposure of the right set of knowledge. Which what we have seen is because I was the in charge for the automation of Lahore High Court back in 2015 and 15 to 17 when case flow management system was deployed. So I was the head of that team. So I know what lawyers are going through. Adam Bhai can vouch for that. So there is a lot of challenge for the beginner lawyers to get access to the right information to because all this information is somewhere it's very privileged, somewhere it's very costly to afford, and somewhere access to the information becomes a challenge. So we are trying to address all these areas.
Because you're
Perfect.
talking about junior lawyers, when we talk about senior lawyers and the judiciary, they're all struggling. I think they're probably struggling a lot more than junior lawyers because they tend to do a
Yeah,
lot more research and they have a lot more, perfection or a command on their area as opposed to some of the seniors. With all due respect, but it's a fact. Okay, so yeah, sorry, you were
agreed.
going to.
Absolutely agreed.
So whilst we're on this subject, Bakas, actually one more question from you that as with all of the, this advancement in AI and the potential risks that it causes, when we talk about this particular app, because obviously people are going to upload their documents, which is going to contain sensitive information about their personal lives, their case, everything else. So how does this app ensure confidentiality and security of the sensitive legal information?
Yes, so this is a very, very relevant and very pertinent question. So this is one of the areas where when we were working on AI and we found out that lots of the big platforms across the world, they are actually very weak in this particular area. So all the information, whatever you put there, it goes into the public knowledge, and that's why we were looking at in the media reports, we were looking at so many huge suitcases and lots of challenges in the developed world. So this is one area where we have very particularly worked. And what we have done is we have designed our model in a way that our information from our AI platform, it does not goes towards internet. So that is how we are protecting it. So whatever information we are getting, we actually pull it from the internet. We are not pushing anything towards the internet. So that is one area where we are very strict and where we are very sensitive. And we have actually invested a lot in terms of our design to implement this thing. And Alhamdulillah, so far we have been successful in executing it. And we are very hopeful that, going forward, we will be improving it further and making it more and more secure as we go forward.
Brilliant. Thank you for putting people's fears to rest with that, Bakas. So, Adam, actually, I wanted to now ask you about the impact of this app on legal practice, and I just wanted to ask you that with something like ChatGPT, we've seen that whereas it has so many benefits of instantly, if somebody just wants to write an email, perhaps they're not very good at English or they're just having a bad day, and you just put in all the points, it drafts you
Yeah,
something absolutely superb. So
yeah.
that's brilliant. Okay, in my opinion, that's amazing. But as with everything, there are always two sides, to the scenario. Now, especially with the law, it requires an independence of your own mind when it comes to analyzing something, when it comes to drafting. So when we are talking about AI and your app in particular, what about the originality? I mean, how do you think? So I know that there are a number of different strands to this question. So I'd like you to just tell me, how do you foresee the app changing the way lawyers in Pakistan approach their daily work? And in terms of using your mind independently and in terms of showing your originality, how does it help or how does it hinder that?
Okay, so I'll go with the good points first, and then we'll discuss how, like everything has its own pros and its own cons. Just like you said, अब मैं सारी इसकी तारीफें करूँ वो तो सही नहीं है. But going with the good points first, कि जैसे we discussed in the start के जो YourMunshi, or you could say, and take any other AI platform, so it can offer a number of benefits for the lawyers, students, and the judges. We'll start with increased case preparation speed, स्पीड बढ़ जाएगी केस तैयार करने की, ह्यूमन एरर कम हो जाता है। आपको पता है जब भी आप टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करते हैं आपका ह्यूमन एरर कम हो जाता है, क्लाइंट कम्युनिकेशन बेहतर हो जाती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ आई हैव अ क्लाइंट कमिंग अप टुडे एंड उसने मुझसे फ़ोन पे बात की हुई कि जी मैं सर आपके पास आ रहा हूँ, मुझे आपसे एक फैमिली केस डिस्कस करना है। सो आई असाइन माई जूनियर और आई लॉग इन टू योर मुंशी माई सेल्फ, और मैं योर मुंशी को यही सिनेरियो बताऊंगा कि मेरे पास क्लाइंट आ रहा है, मेक मी अ चेकलिस्ट कि मैं उससे क्या क्या क्वेश्चन करूँ, राधा कि मैं बहुत सारा टाइम लगाऊं और उसके आने के बाद ये काम करूं। तो वो मुझे 10 क्वेश्चंस बना देगा कि जी ये खुला का केस है या जो भी है, सो दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस आस्क हिम दिस। सो बेसिकली एक ऑटोमेशन चीज हो जाती है, स्ट्रीमलाइन हो जाता है, प्रोसेस आपका तेज हो जाता है। फोर्थ, आपकी कॉस्ट रिडक्शन हो जाती है। जहां आपने 10 बंदे रखे हुए हैं आप वो काम 2 बंदों से ले सकते हैं। आप टीच देम हाउ टू यूज एआई, टीच देम हाउ टू यूज टेक्नोलॉजी, तो वो चीजें ऑटोमेट होके आपकी लॉ फर्म को चलाने में आपकी कॉस्ट भी कम हो जाती है। पांचवी चीज मेरे हिसाब से जो इसका है कि एक्सेस टू नॉलेज वुड बी अवेलेबल फॉर एवरीवन, जो अभी नहीं है। अनफॉर्चुनेटली वही जैसे पहले बताया कि हमारे पास इस वक्त गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कोई ऐसा सिस्टम नहीं है ऑनलाइन जाए जहां पर हम फ्री में केस लॉज देख सकें या हम फ्री में कोई चीज रिसर्च कर सकें। अपार्ट फ्रॉम द लेटेस्ट जजमेंट्स बीइंग अपलोड फ्रॉम ऑन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हमारे पास द ओनली ऑप्शन विच इज लेफ्ट फ्रॉम द पास्ट फ्यू इयर्स इज द पाकिस्तान लॉ साइट, एंड पाकिस्तान लॉ साइट इज नॉट अफोर्डेबल फॉर एवरीवन। अच्छी एस्टेब्लिश लॉ फर्म सीनियर लॉयर्स तो उसको अफोर्ड कर लेते हैं, बट अगर कोई लॉ स्टूडेंट है और उसको एक इंटरेस्ट है कि मैं रिसर्च करूं, या कोई यंग लॉयर है वो पढ़ना चाहे, तो उसके पास पाकिस्तान लॉ साइट का अक्सर एक्सेस नहीं होता। विच इज द रीजन, जैसे वकास भाई ने शुरू में आपको बताया था कि एक वर्जन ऑफ योर मुंशी वुड ऑलवेज रिमेन फ्री, एंड हमारे पेड पैकेजेस भी होंगे बट फ्री पैकेज भी होंगे, बिकॉज आवर पर्पज इज टू गिव नॉलेज टू एवरीवन, वी डोंट वांट टू होल्ड इट। तो ये तो सारी अच्छी बातें होंगी। अब आगे हम इसको क्रिटिकली अगर वैल्यूएट करें और इसकी उस बात पर है कि ये आपका इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल और क्रिएटिविटी को अफेक्ट करता है, तो ये मैंने जो अपना सबसे पहला एक पॉडकास्ट किया था और उस वक्त हमने ये प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं बनाया था, जब व्हेन आई रोट माय बुक चैट जीपीटी फॉर लॉयर्स, तो मैंने उसमें भी इसकी एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस और इसकी क्रिएटिविटी के इम्पैक्ट पे कुछ बातें डिस्कस की थी। जो 3 चीजें मेरे हिसाब से चैलेंजेस है, मैं खुल के बोलूंगा, इससे मैं साइड नहीं लूंगा ये है कि जस्ट आई एम पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट, बट नंबर वन इज द कि यस इंडीड ये आपकी क्रिएटिविटी को इफेक्ट करता है। व्हेन यू यूज टू गेट टू अडेप्ट योरसेल्फ टू अ सर्टेन टेक्नोलॉजी, आप थोड़े से लेजी हो जाते हैं। अब मैं खुद इस तरह करता हूँ कि रादर कि मैं एक अपनी ईमेल खुद बनाऊं, मैं जो हूँ वो चैट जीपीटी को या योर मुंशी को या किसी को कह दूंगा कि मेरा ईमेल कर दे, एंड दैट्स हाउ इट गोज। बट जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी इवॉल्व होती है इसी तरह ही होता है। पहले हम पोस्ट ऑफिस यूज करते थे किसी को मैसेज पहुंचाने के लिए, अब हम व्हाट्सएप करते हैं। देखें नुकसान भी है बट फायदे ज्यादा है। पहले हमारा खत किसी को एक हफ्ते में पहुंचता था, व्हाट्सएप में सेकंड से पहुंच। सिमिलरली टू एआई प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर लॉयर्स, क्रिएटिविटी नो डाउट होगी, बट आई ऑलवेज एडवाइज यंग लॉयर्स एंड एवरीवन कि जब भी आप एआई मॉडल यूज करें, यूज इट एफिशिएंटली एंड डोंट टोटली रिलाई ऑन इट। देखिए मशीन तो हमेशा मशीन ही रहती है, यूज इट एज योर टूल, एज योर असिस्टेंट। इसीलिए हमने इसका नाम रखा है योर मुंशी। मुंशी इज बेसिकली योर असिस्टेंट, इसको असिस्टेंट के तौर पे कर लें। इससे भी एक अपना सिंपल ड्राफ्ट तैयार करवा लें, बट ऑलवेज मतलब रिव्यू इट बिफोर सबमिटिंग इट एनीवेयर, और उसमें अपना एड ऑन भी करें। उसका ड्राफ्ट भी लें टेम्पलेट, और अपनी क्रिएटिविटी को भी उसमें ऐड ऑन करें, क्योंकि यही इशू यूएस में आया था जहां पर न्यूयॉर्क अटर्नी ने एक चैट जीपीटी से केस तैयार करके लॉन्च किया था, वो फिक्शियस केस है। तो वहां पे जो न्यूयॉर्क की जो जजमेंट आई थी रिगार्डिंग इट, उसमें जज साहब ने यही कहा था कि इट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द लॉयर टू इवेल्युएट द आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द एआई प्लेटफॉर्म। सो लॉयर्स जो भी यूज करें एआई मॉडल को, या हमारा मॉडल करें या कोई भी करें, यूज इट एफिशिएंटली और उसको एथिकली यूज करें। एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस में हमारा मॉडल में तो ये मसला नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने तो स्पेसिफिकली इसको पाकिस्तानी लॉज और पाकिस्तानी जजमेंट्स पे ट्रेन किया हुआ है। उसके अलावा ये कोई और काम नहीं करता, ये हेलुसिनेट नहीं करता। इट विल नॉट गिव यू अ रॉन्ग आंसर, इट वुड रादर से दैट इट डजंट नो। मगर अगर आप चैट जीपीटी वगैरह यूज करते हैं तो उसमें एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस बायसनेस की आ जाती हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे आप देखा होगा कि वो जो कमिंग टू द इजराइल पैलेस्टीन वॉर, तो अगर आप उसको कोई क्वेश्चन करें रिगार्डिंग द वॉर, से इट विल ऑलवेज टेक द साइड ऑफ द इजराइल रादर देन फिलिस्तीन की, तो एक बायस्ड नेचर आ जाता है एआई में। तो हमारा मॉडल तो पाकिस्तानी लॉज पे ट्रेन है, उसमें मसला नहीं आएगा। सो तीसरा मसला मैं जल्दी से रैप अप करूंगा इज ऑफ द इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी। वो भी खैर हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म में नहीं है, बट दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म्स में कह सकते हैं जो एपीआई यूज कर रहे हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारे कंपेटिटर्स हैं, मैं उनके नाम तो नहीं लूंगा, वो एपीआई यूज करते हैं और उसमें जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं वो अक्सर ऐसी लॉ बुक से प्रोवाइड कर देते हैं जिनकी परमिशन उस ऑथर से नहीं मिली थी। तो दैट इज अ वेरी बिग इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी कंसर्न इन माय ओपिनियन। वो उस ऑथर की मेहनत ज़ाया हो जाती है, और रादर वो तीसरा जो एआई प्लेटफॉर्म है वो उसको अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन क्लेम कर रहा होता है। सो आई थिंक दीज थ्री थिंग्स आर द इश्यूज, बट दे कुड बी, इसको ठीक किया जा सकता है ओवर द इयर्स। एआई की पॉलिसी पाकिस्तान में अभी तक लेजिस्लेट नहीं हुई, हाउएवर ड्राफ्ट एआई पॉलिसी अभी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आईटी ने पोस्ट की हुई है। सो लेट्स सी हाउ थिंग्स गो। यूरोपियन यूनियन वाज द फर्स्ट वन टू इंट्रोड्यूस द एआई एक्ट, एंड मेरे ख्याल से उसी को सब रेप्लिकेट करेंगे और अपना बेस मॉडल बनाएंगे। सो लेट्स सी हाउ दीज थिंग्स आर रेगुलेटेड इन फ्यूचर।
Thanks for explaining all of that, Adam. I also wanted to ask you that you mentioned that the app will have the capability of predicting the outcome of the case. To what extent do you think is that going to be accurate? I mean, in terms of a percentage?
देखो, वही एक्यूरेसी की बात करें ना, तो आई कुड नॉट गिव यू अ स्पेसिफिक परसेंटेज के हाउ एक्यूरेट इट कुड बी। वो तो जब प्रैक्टिकलिटी में रोज बरोज यूज होगा, हमें यूजर से फीडबैक मिलेगा, तो ही हम उसको स्टेटिस्टिकली एनालाइज कर सकेंगे कि इसका क्या एक्यूरेसी लेवल आता है। हाउएवर वी हैव टेस्टेड इट, और हमने उसको देखा है कि वो जो अपनी जजमेंट देता है वो बेसिकली पाकिस्तानी लॉज और केस लॉज को एनालाइज करके ही देता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई विल, हम लोग आपस में ही एक सारे मेंबर्स बीटा टेस्टिंग कर रहे थे, एंड वी नरेटेड द फेमस केस ऑफ द गुल अहमद कार एक्सीडेंट केस, और हमने उसको वो पूरा नरेट किया। सो इट गेव अस द प्रिडिक्टिव जजमेंट। हमने कहा तुम बताओ यार मुंशी कि तुम्हारे हिसाब से इसमें क्या फैसला होना चाहिए। तो उसमें जो उसने सेक्शन 320 और 322 पीपीसी के चार्जेस के हिसाब से जो इम्प्रिजनमेंट वगैरह बनती हैं, वो उसने प्रिडिक्ट कर दी कि ये इसमें हो सकती है, इन द पॉसिबिलिटी के वो जो एविडेंस सीसीटीवी कैमरास वगैरह सारा या विटनेस टेस्टिमनी सारी वैलिडेट हो जाती है, तो ये फैसला आ जाता है। बट कमिंग बैक, जो मैंने आपको एथिकल कंसिडरेशंस बताई थी कि वी शुड ऑलवेज यूज दिस टेक्नोलॉजी वाइजली, हम एआई के ऊपर रिलाई करके किसी को नाजायज सजा नहीं दे सकते। सो अगर जजेस इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहते हैं फॉर प्रिडिक्टिव आउटकम, so they should always use it as a second opinion and as a munshi, as an assistant. I would come back to that again, तो ताकि जो है reliability और accountability issues ना आए।
Excellent, Adam. Thank you. Moving to you, Waqas, I wanted to ask you that Pakistan mein generally and even legal profession mein, not everybody is going to be tech savvy. I mean, they're not actually tech savvy. I'm sure that people have, general difficulties even with typing more than anything else. So when it comes to this particular app, how have you made it friendly for an ordinary person to use it?
Again, very, very, very rightly asked question, and I must say you have done a good research in your questions. So, again, this was one of the core areas when we were doing our market research. That how can we enable people to use it comfortably and to their ease. इसमें देखें, what we have started is it is the standard model जो पूरी दुनिया में चल रहा है, जिसमें you type your matter in layman terms and it will start talking to you in the legal language. Now, when we talk about Pakistan specifically, where 60% of our population is residing in areas where the literacy levels are very much compromised, and people are not much, capable of reading and writing English in a better way, because obviously the more better quality of language you will use in AI, the more better quality of answers you will get, right? So making the input easier, as Adam bhai just said, we are actually working these days to make the input of prompts enable it into multiple languages, especially the local languages. Like, for example, there is a far off village in somewhere in central Punjab, and that guy can explain his legal matter excellently in Punjabi language. But if you will ask him to explain it or write it in English, he will simply be, looking for an attorney on ground to translate his thing. And that is the point where the actual problem starts, because there are lots and lots of what I would say less qualified professionals who are not supposed to deal with such kind of matters. They exploit the people, and our people, they generally don't have any other option to look towards. So there, what we are doing is we are actually enabling it to accept inputs in local languages and then generate outputs in local languages as well. So that requires a lot of technical infrastructure and everything. So we are putting all the right things together. It will take a bit of time, but it will be there very soon. It's not too late. And then what the in the third phase, what we are working towards is the voice input in local language, and then the voice output in the from the AI. So that is also on the charts. So definitely, it will require lots of infrastructure and lots of investment into it. So as we move along, as we go along, what we are planning is we will start from big cities, and then we will start moving towards the rural areas. You can definitely we very well understand if we cannot start, or we cannot make people force people to use a certain language which they don't understand, which they don't use as the common language, to get to their right knowledge base. So what we are doing is कि हम एक specific niche market से start कर रहे हैं, and then what we are doing is कि हम इसको down the road we'll start expanding it towards the less privileged areas and less knowledgeable people as well. So this is what we are trying to do.
That's brilliant, Waqas. I think that your vision is, it's absolutely fantastic, especially bearing in mind our literacy rate, bearing in mind the underprivileged communities within Pakistan. And, we can't shy away from the fact that we do have many lawyers who belong to different social classes as well. That is a reality. And obviously, with respect to everybody, we need to cater to the needs of everyone as well. I also wanted to actually ask you at this stage that, when we talk about AI in general and the legal field, like how do you, so because I think you can probably start with this, how do you think, things are going to change over the next 5 to 10 years? Because when we talk about the legal field in particular, and we're talking about Chalo, let's start with senior lawyers. They have been so accustomed to hard copies and big fat books and things like that. And then you have the junior lawyers, of course, who are very tech savvy. And then you've got these lawyers in the middle again who are struggling with technology. So how do you think, do you think that perhaps they require training in as far as using these apps are concerned? How do you think that all of this is going to make a difference in the legal sphere in the next 5 years or so? Vikas, maybe you can start.
Okay. So very interesting question. Uh, I'll begin with a small preamble of where we see that AI is going to be in next 5 years. देखिए दुनिया में ना इस वक्त दो पैराडाइम्स चल रहे हैं. एक अंडर डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड का पूरा एक टेक्नोलॉजिकल पैराडाइम है और एक डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड का टेक्नोलॉजिकल पैराडाइम. बहुत सारे टेक्नोलॉजिकल पैराडाइम्स में स्पेशली आई टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तान के वी have missed the trains a lot many times, right? There were a lot many opportunities we were presented with, but as a nation we missed it. Whatever the reasons were, but we missed it. And that's the reason that we are facing so many challenges in today's modern world. But the good part is that AI is evolving across the world equally in developed world and underdeveloped world. So this gives us a wonderful opportunity where we can actually join this bandwagon at this time, and we will be at par with world in next 5 to 10 years. If we miss this train this time, believe me, there will not be any place where we will be even visible. Because entire world, for that matter, law is one application of AI, right? What about healthcare? What about education? What about social development? What about governance? And there are a lot many things which AI can actually address very, very well. These are the things we are talking about at the bigger social level. Let's come down to the organization level. When we come inside the organization, just look at the banking sector. Piles and piles of information just buried under the load of files, right? It might be a very useful information which was created 10 years ago. And if that is reused today, it might create a very valuable output for the bank and for the customer, right? But who knows where that information is? So AI can actually address this problem. Similarly, if we go towards the management consultancy companies, huge volumes of data, but there is every time there is a reinvention of wheel. This is a common practice which is going on for last more than 20 years in management consulting industry. So every time they recreate the information, they redo the research, they spend a lot of money and resources, and then they come out to the same answer which was done maybe 10 years ago. So if that information would have been available at a single click, we might would have actually, gone a step ahead of that. So same is the case in law. I've done the automation of Lahore High Court. I've seen the storerooms, and I know what is going on over there. How cases are, how so much valuable information, such marvelous and gem of the judgments are just buried under the loads and piles of files, right? And no one knows they are there because the honorable judges who made those judgments, they may not be in this world anymore. Their assistants who wrote it, they may not be in this world anymore. They may not even remember that they did that, right? So, but AI gives us the power of not forgetting the things. So this is where we can actually take the right benefit of it. It is good that government and the industry, they're all almost thinking alike on this thing, but we have to move forward very quickly. We have to make the right investments. And if we don't do this, Pakistan's AI landscape will not be there. अब मैं एक छोटी सी आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. There are a lot many technology companies working in Pakistan, right? They're working in different domains, law, healthcare, education, and whatnot. But there has not been a single GPU available in Pakistan, which is the core requirement of AI to run, right? So whosoever is working in Pakistan on AI, they have to go to either nearest, maybe Middle East or Europe or US to get their GPUs done. And that creates the affordability challenge, because if my cost of production is higher, I will never be able to sell it at a local price, right? So this will create a bigger disconnect. So even today, I was in the morning, we were sitting with a couple of very large scale data center owners in Pakistan, and we were actually preparing a business plan to do the exact same thing. That please, for God's sake, do not invest in conventional infrastructure. Start investing towards the AI enabled infrastructure, because if we don't do this, people will still, brain drain will continue, and it will increase even further, because this AI is not stopping and we cannot fight with it. We just have to adopt it. So there is no two way about it. जैसे आपने बात की senior lawyers की और junior lawyers की, I respect all the senior attorneys and lawyers, and with all due respect, I would suggest that this is the time that we have to start making that internal change, that we have to start opening ourselves towards the new technologies. If we don't do that, new generation which is coming up, they are so much tech savvy, and they will take over the entire generation which is leading today at a very fast pace, just because they are ready to adopt technologies. And मतलब हमने collectively बहुत सारी law firms visit की, हम उनसे मिले, हमने उनके साथ बहुत सारे matters discuss किए. So this was one of their challenge. आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा कि they are used to hard copies and all that, but that has to start changing. We have to start changing our mindsets, and if we don't do it, I don't know where we will be even after 1 year. So because things are shaping so fast, every morning we wake up, believe me, we come across new technological advancements, and we are again back to our drawing board at that, okay, now this is done, this is here. Where are we going, and how do we have to comply to it? How do we have to adopt it? So this race is going on, and I think so. I'm very positive that with this government's new AI policy draft, and thinking, and industries thinking about adopting AI, and I know a couple of organizations actually within Pakistan who are working towards AI to manage their knowledge base. See, so thought process is there, but it has to go at a bigger scale. It has to go at a bigger scale. If it does not goes at a bigger scale, it will be difficult. उसके अंदर core challenges सबसे बड़े हमारे पास cost of production and affordability. Cost of production को we can actually reduce it by enabling the infrastructure within Pakistan. The more infrastructure we will have within Pakistan, the more cost effective AI will become. And actually, we can then become the AI service providers to the rest of the world, because our cost of production will be very low. So we can actually compete at a very bigger market level. So I see a very bright future for Pakistan, and especially for law, for the legal industry, because legal industry पर बहुत काम हो रहा है, बहुत सारे लोग इस पर effort कर रहे हैं, and we would actually like to, we are inviting almost everyone to please come and collaborate and work with us. We are not here to compete with anyone. We are just inviting everyone to please come and collaborate with us. Be our helping hand. The more hands we have on the table, the more better and quick output we can deliver.
Absolutely, Bakas. I think that, again, thank you so much for making all of those amazing points. It's been so enlightening. With the growing number of lawyers in the legal fraternity that we have in Pakistan, I think that this marriage, between AI and humans, it is becoming, it is already there. I mean, in all different walks
Yeah.
of life, we've seen it. We're so dependent on the machine, and vice versa. The machine needs us, of course, and our creativity and our minds to operate. So I think that this union, has already produced something marvelous, and I think that in future, especially pertaining to the legal field, it will continue to. I'd also like to actually make a request to both of you at this stage that I, apart from other things, I deal with cases of family laws and intimate partner violence, etc. And when I look at other countries, especially the UK and America, they've created some very unique apps where, so I've forgotten the name of the app, but this was a UK app where if you shake your phone, and in fact, you've already given details of a person, it could be your neighbor, it could be your mother, it could be whomsoever, and you just shake your phone if you feel like you're in danger, तो वो एक पिंग हो जाता है उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन को, एंड वो आपकी लोकेशन जो है वो उन तक पहुंच जाती है, एंड देन दे कैन ट्रैक यू डाउन एंड find you in case you're in trouble, whether it's your husband or a perfect stranger, whoever's harassing you, or god forbid whatever they're doing. So we obviously we need people like you, Adam and Bakas, and you've already done something that's revolutionary with YourMunshi. So this is just a personal request that, given the growing number of cases of intimate partner violence, sexual harassment, etc., this is food for thought. I'd love it if you guys can do something along these lines in future.
Just to add to your point, ये apps अभी इस वक्त भी हमारे phones में मौजूद हैं. Almost in every Android phone, this is the basic service which has been provided and provisioned by Google free of cost. So we actually don't have to go to go out to do any extra effort to do that. We just have to enable it. It works like a charm. I've enabled it. My wife, my kids, they all have it on their phones. And we continuously, just sometimes run a dry test on it that, okay, it's working fine, good. So हमने उस पर अपने family protocols भी बनाए हुए हैं. We all know what to do. Our kids and every ladies and gents, they all know what to do in case of an emergency. हमने एक अपने वो contact numbers की पूरी directory बनाई हुई है कि emergency में किसको alerts raise करने हैं और कैसे उसको manage करना है. So it is, see, the fact of the matter is, जैसे मैंने अभी कहा ना कि बहुत सारे ऐसे areas हैं जिसमें we as a nation at par with rest of the world in terms of technology, because we are using the same Google which a person in US or UK is using, right? It's just the difference of education and awareness. So if we make people more aware, and AI gives the best opportunity to do that, it actually awares you to the down to the core that, okay, you, and for that matter, आप चैट जीपीटी से पूछ लीजिए कि how can I enable emergency alert services on my cell phone? It will give you a step-by-step process of that. And it won't take more than, I guess, maybe a couple of minutes or so just to enable it. So things are that we have to adopt the things which are there knocking at our doors. We have to open the doors and we have to make ourselves acceptable to change.
That's actually very helpful, Vikas, especially for our audience. I mean, you're absolutely right that, we all have mobile phones, and there's such a hidden world within it that, we don't even know how to use probably 80% of whatever we have, what we're holding in our hands. But what you've mentioned, in fact, is very useful, especially given, how circumstances are nowadays. So thank you so much for that. I thank you both immensely for your time and for the valuable insights that you have shared, your knowledge, your wisdom. It has been an absolute delight. I'd like to again congratulate you both on the upcoming launch of this app. And before we conclude, Adam, if you'd like to say anything else that's left, and Vakas, just any concluding words.
First of all, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you for inviting us on this platform, and you've always been a voice for us. And in the previous webinars as well, this has been an effective platform to spread our voices. Uh, Lastly, I would like to say कि वही दोबारा awareness पे होगा, and which is the purpose this month. हमारा September का awareness का ही purpose है, which is why we are having these launches event. कि जितनी हम अवेयरनेस फैलाएंगे टेक्नोलॉजी की उतनी अडॉप्शन ईजी होगी. सो आई अर्ज ऑल लॉ स्टूडेंट्स, लॉयर्स, जजेस एंड एवरीवन, कोई और स्पेसिफिक इंडस्ट्री से भी हो, वी वुड लव टू हैव देम ऑन आवर इवेंट, जो मैंने तीनों डेट स्पेसिफाई की थी. एंड वी वुड लाइक टू एक्सटेंड आवर इनविटेशन टू यू एज वेल फॉर द कराची इवेंट. तो सब लोग आए. We'll teach you how to use AI for law. We'll teach you prompts. We'll teach you everything. And our mission is to streamline and make the legal profession easier for everyone in Pakistan. And I believe AI is the future of law in Pakistan. Not today, but after 5 years, AI will be a core component of the legal industry. So we all have to adopt it. अगर हमने इसको adopt कर लिया तो सही है, नहीं किया तो हम लोग जॉबलेस हो जाएंगे. तो कहते हैं ना, AI will replace your job. So AI will only replace your job if you don't know how to use it, in my opinion. So once again, Ji, Shukriya. We look forward to seeing how YourMunshi can help you in your practice. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Just a last, couple of sentences. That thank you very much, Sana, for giving us the opportunity to express our views. Uh, I would just say one thing. Please open your doors to new changes and new technologies. If you will not, we will be left behind. And there is no coming back this time. This is what I can see for now. I don't know what happens tomorrow. So
Absolutely.
सबको एक ही पैगाम दूंगा. And I would like to also extend the invitation to all the viewers who are listening and looking at us that 17th September we are doing event in Islamabad. 19th September we are doing it in Lahore. 21st of September we are doing it in Karachi. Follow our LinkedIn page. You'll continuously keep getting the updates about our events, locations, venues, and everything. We would like to invite you all to come and be a part of this bigger change in Pakistan.
I'm so looking forward to it from now on. Adam and Vakas, thank you so much. This particular webinar is going to be available on the VLA YouTube channel. It's going to be available on the Facebook channel, and I'm obviously going to share it on different platforms. So for the audience, if you have any questions for Adam and Vakas, I'm going to tag both of them, so you can directly message them on LinkedIn or you can email them as well. So thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much, Adam and Vakas. It has been an absolute pleasure. So
Pleasure
thank
is
you so much.
all ours, I would say. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
and
Assalamu alaikum.
goodbye.
Okay.
Walaikum
Allah
salam.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.